What's going on, everyone? This is Dark Horse for another DCUO video. So today we're going to look at my single target pet build, and we're going to test out this Brinehawk supercharge. Now mind you, the Brinehawk is a pet build supercharge, right? We'll get into that a little later, but look at my artifacts right now. I'll do an in-depth video on each artifact. I already have a video on Mercy. Check that one out. Show you how to use it. All my artifacts I use, the exception of Omega, or because of I use pets, right? So once we get into that, I always go straight might on my pet builds because the artifacts I use are affected by how much might I have, as in the Mercy proc and the Dead King's orbital assistance. Now I use Zatanna and Aquaman because they buff my pets, and I just throw in there Big Crypt because of my single target. He does solid single target damage. And as we go through, I always put my skill points on this build. Typically, I go hybrid. But for this one, I'm supercharged all the way and fill up my might, and I throw the rest into health, right? Get those skill points up and finish out that might tree. Now, we'll go through, like I said, if you're always using Mercy, you want to use an attack first, then call your pets out to get that Mercy proc that does heavy damage, and you don't want to miss out. And also, you don't use your henchmen until about 10 seconds after, so you can get the second Mercy proc, right? You'll be missing out on big damage, right? So we'll go through this a little bit, just get it warmed up, and then we'll call out the Brinehawk to see how that does. Now, the Brinehawk itself, one reason I like it is because unlike other supercharges, for those of us who play elite content, they know that the tank is going to be kiting or moving around the boss because the boss is hit very hard on elite and elite plus, and the tanks just can't stand there and eat that kind of damage. So they're moving around constantly. And if you're a supercharge user, the worst thing that have happen is you call out your supercharge and the tank moves the boss out the way and you get nothing for it, right? Now the Brinehawk by itself probably doesn't hit as hard as the top supercharges, but it lasts 20 seconds and will follow the boss. Now, if there's ads out there, you run the risk of it moving on to an ad instead of hitting the boss, but it's still getting damage, right? And also, the Brinehawk is affected by other stuff. So, my Aquaman gives it a percentage buff. Zatanna gives a percentage buff. My Shard, if it hits it, it gives it a 200% buff. And then the Elite Henchman I'm using right now give it a buff. So there's a lot of different things that go into it, but as I said before, I use it as a secondary supercharge. I always use Neo Venom primarily to go with my Trinket and straight into my Omega, right? That's what you're going to get a bulk of your any damage build from is your Omega. So you want to buff up, hit that bad boy, and then hit your Omega. But the thing about that is it's a long cooldown for Neo Venom. So the secondary part of the supercharge will be Brinehawk for me, right? We're going to do more testing, but like I said before, the numbers you're getting here aren't the real numbers, I say, because Aquaman, the ally, does not proc unless you're taking damage, and you don't take damage during sparring targets. So I'm going to go out in the open world and do some testing here. Now, the thing about this is a single target build. I do pretty solid number single target. Probably the second or third best in my league, but the top guy in my league is Sorcery, and he just does nasty damage, and I'm trying to catch up to him, right? I'm trying to figure out some ways to beat him, but we'll see. But for all in all, the pet build, Mercy, Shard, Omega, we use Quizlet and Dead King. You probably could swap out Dead King for something else and do more damage, like the Ring or something, but this is what I like to use, and I'll play around with different builds from here and there and try to find what's best. But for now, Brinehawk, I'm using it on my loadout, and also for my AoE loadout because of my pet build. I'll probably do a video different. I'm using the Swarm. So all in all, check it out, try things for yourself. If you're really going to do your loadouts, you really want to do some good solid testing, get out there in open world, because while you're at a sparring target, it'll give you the misconception that you're going to do these numbers in the actual content, but you got to factor in that you're going to be moving, you're going to be roll, dodging, and doing other things, and your targets will move, right? So you'll get the idea that you're doing great numbers, but that's not how real content is. So go back and test some stuff out for yourselves. And shout out to the gingerbread man. I was looking at some of those numbers you were putting up there. We got some work to do, buddy. We've got some work to do. But I'll catch you guys later. Sit back and watch the video. Check out the numbers. And remember, at the end of the day, the scoreboard does not matter, right? As long as you complete the content and you get your marks, you don't get any extra rewards. You don't get any extra marks, prestige, or anything like that. Hey, I like to be on top myself, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the thing. The whole objective is to have fun with the game and not to be too sweaty. Enjoy yourself. Be nice to people, and I will catch you guys later. Body Bag Gang.
But subscribe. It's nasty work.